It's a warm May evening in Emeryville, and we see our train just coming up from Oakland Jack London Square. We have 3 locomotives, 2 Siemens ALC 42s and a rather old GE P42 Genesis. The first of the locomotives is the first of the new build of Amtrak long distance trains. After we board and find that actually our sleeping cars are at the rear of the train, not at the front where they normally be, we head up along the bay area. It's dark, and I set up in the lounge car to try and get some shots, just some across the bay. But the next morning I'm up early to try and get Mount Shasta. It's a bit of a difficult shot because the train is twisting and turning, or there are trees or other obstructions in the way, but I do manage to get some good shots, I hope, of Mount Shasta, which is that volcano just north of California. The sun is shining on, and there's a moon as well. A beautiful morning as we round the curves and then head up towards Klamath Falls. So after taking Mount Shasta, I swapped sides to get some good shots of the surrounding countryside, some mist. And here we are at Klamath Falls, the service stop where crew change and people get a chance to stretch their legs and have a cigarette, and then soon we are heading north on time. Big lumber mills and everything else around this area. This is the very southern edge of Oregon. Like any town, there's a football stadium, baseball, diamond, sport is king, even some soccer. Well, that looks like a gridiron pitch. As we head north out of Klamath Falls, we start to see some mountains in the background, some with snow on still. And this is mid-May. Start to see Klamath Lake, big expanse of water, lots of birds, egrets. I did see a golden eagle, not a gold eagle, a bald eagle there at one time. I think they nest there during the winter months. sure of the name of that mountain in the background with the snow on. And here we are arriving at Chemult. At this point I swap sides because I want to see on the east side of Willamette Valley. Many wires on this track where they use for turning locomotives, especially in the days of steam helper engines, and there's some snow. This is Odell Lake, which unfortunately most of the time seems to be surrounded by trees and you don't get a good view of it, but just managed to get one good shot. And here we are at Cascade Summit. So the next 40 miles is all downhill at about 2% grade and a 35 miles per hour speed limit. Now we see trees and trees and trees. Tunnels and snow sheds are plenty on this route. There's one of the snow sheds. There's some propane cylinders for keeping the points, or switches, sorry. We call them points in the UK, switches, to make sure they don't get snow. I think down the bottom of that dip there is some remains of some box cars that came off the tracks around 1960 something. It was cheaper to leave them there rather than try and extract them. This is the site of a massive landslide they had in 2008 when half the mountainside came down and covered the tracks for many yards, and quite a depth of trees and mud. And here's a mile-long train going the other way. 4 locomotives at the front and 2 at the rear. Now, after travelling northwest, we now travel southeast for a while. It was the only way they could keep the grade to about 2%. So, and now we're going across Salt Creek Trestle, and now we're heading back to northwest again. This is the town of Oakridge, Oregon, which is the headquarters for Union Pacific when they had to deal with their 2008 landslide. That landslide was in the middle of a big forest, so there was practically no roads or highways or anything, and so it took a lot of effort to get all the old timber out, the lumber, the mud, the rocks. Dam that holds the water back. Now listen to this very important announcement from our conductor.
And for those passengers who are continuing on to points further northward, Eugene will be one of those opportunities for you to step off the train, stretch your legs, get some fresh air, smoke a quick cigarette. However, a few important caveats to this announcement. We're actually a little ahead of schedule this afternoon, but you need to be back train side no later than 12:30, 12:30 p.m. Doors to both the train and station will close shortly after to ensure an on-time departure. So again, feel free to step off here, get some fresh air. But again, you need to be back train side no later than 12:30 p.m. Listen to that re-warning announcement and prompt report this train once that announcement has been made. Again, Eugene, Oregon, coming up in just a few minutes.
Yes, the reason for the announcements from the conductor or the crew member is because people do tend to have the habit of being left behind. They decide to go do a bit of grocery shopping, or at Reno go for a quick gamble, and they get back and find the train has gone. One guy got left behind at Denver because he went to the bookstore nearby and then had to take a cab all the way to Winter Park to catch his train.